Hello, friends. If you're preparing for your upcoming CQIRCA Lead Auditor examination, then this series of practice tests would really help you to clear your exam. I really wish that my hard work would contribute and help you out to qualify your exam at one go. Please subscribe, like, and share. All the best, friends. Let's try to match the below activities with appropriate quality management principles. These principles are mentioned below. Please read the following activities. Let's look at the answers now. A British multinational company trying to capture the unmet needs of their customers that demonstrate their customer focus approach. The luxury fashion house inspiring staff to meet the customer needs to achieve their store targets. This is leadership, the top management, which inspire their people. The banking and the finance company implementing controls to monitor the performance of their credit process. They follow the process here. They have the process-based approach in place. Please read three more activities displayed here on your screen and try to map the appropriate quality management principles here. The Quality Institute developing and empowering employees to contribute and to take ownership for quality issues. So this institute is developing and empowering their employees and promoting the engagement of people. The Quality Institute, which makes effective use of data for the informed choices about quality improvement that demonstrate their data-based decision making, so evidence-based decision making. The petroleum company established clear communication channels and mutual understanding of goals with collaborative efforts to improve their products and services. Now, this company is addressing the needs of possible interested parties and trying to maintain the good relationship with all interested parties, hence relationship management principle. Here you need to read the following activities and decide what they determined in their quality management system. The suitable answers are given below. Daisy, the nursing sister, meeting patients to understand their unmet needs. She's trying to determine opportunities in the system. She has a fear that there can be the errors while distributing medicines to them. She's determining risk. Mia, one of the attendants, brought into the notice that the nearby Cromwell Hospital offering specialized services. That's a risk to their business. Read these three more activities here appeared on your screen and try to map what they determine in their system from the suitable answers given below. Now, if Daisy finds there can be a healthcare related infractions as the room was not cleaned, that means she determined risk for possible infractions. Lily, the superintendent, tells that there was a shortage of housekeepers today. So that's how they can determine risk related to the shortage of staff. Now she is planning to sit with the in charge to understand how this process can further be optimized so that they can offer specialized services. So they should set up a process here to determine opportunities here. Jack, the CEO of the real estate company, has implemented the quality management system and want to understand his responsibilities. You need to decide once you read the responsibilities mentioned below, which one is the most appropriate for Jack. Now, this is the responsibility of the top management to ensure that the quality management system achieves its intended results, and he need to promote the use of the process approach. Here you need to read the below activities appeared in your stream and decide that these activities falls under which phase of PDCA. When you establishing the audit program, that means this is establishing is planning activity. So this falls under plan phase of PDCA. When you initiate the audit, so initiating is again a planning exercise and that falls under plan. Conducting audit activities, the doing stage falls under do. Completing audit is you need to check that yes, the audit is complete and the objective of the audit is achieved. Check phase of PDCA. When you review and improve the audit program further, that's the act stage. Similarly, read these activities also and try to decide that these activities falls under which phase of PDCA. So when we prepare for the audit, that's a plan stage. That's a planning stage. We prepare ourselves for the audit activities. And once we determine and evaluate the risk, that is also under the planning stage. When we prepare and distribute the audit report, we are working on the audit reports, do phase of PDCA. Monitoring is checking, hence the monitoring audit program falls under check. And conducting audit follow-up is the follow-up related actions fall under act phase of PDCA. Here you need to read the audit situation given on your slide and you need to analyze once you read and decide this situation stand as a non-conformity and under which clause you need to attribute the appropriate clause if you declare this as a NC. Third, while auditing, the independent or producer company finds that the managing director has not been talking about the QMS and there are no evidences of communications from his desk. So this situation stand as a non-conformity where the top management failed to demonstrate their leadership and commitment, and this is the non-conformance NC under clause 511. If you find a customer orders a red t-shirt of large size online, but the operations team, while processing the order, mistakenly picks and packs a blue t-shirt of small size. This situation stands as a non-conformity. Decide the appropriate clause. Here, the core issue is that the operations team did not adequately review the customer's orders against the item being picked and packed. This situation stands as a non-conformance under the review of requirement related to the product and services and the NC under 8231. Suppose you find during the audit that a fruit and a vegetable distributor that does not track the spoiled shipments might continue to receive and distribute the produce from the same farm, even if the farm has a consistent problem with the pest infestations. This could lead to a situation where a significant portion of their produce is infested and potentially dangerous to customers without the company being aware of the scale of the problem. This situation stands as a non-conformance beside the clause. Here, the standard ISO 9001:2015 asks us to retain the documented information as evidence of the nature of the nonconformities and any subsequent actions taken. Therefore, the situation stands as a NC under clause 10.2.2. Another situation where a software company might release new feature without proper testing, leading to bugs and glitches. Company does not even analyze the conformity of the new feature during monitoring, maybe through the user feedbacks or some automated testing. This situation stands as a non-conformance. Please decide the appropriate clause of the international standard. Here, the standard asks us to analyze and evaluate the appropriate data and information arising from the monitoring and measurement. The results of analysis shall be used to evaluate conformity of the product and services. Hence, the situation of this software company stand as a non-conformance under clause 9.1.3. Situation of this food manufacturer where they do not check the temperature of their ovens or the ingredients they use, relying on just visual inspections rather than the precise measurements. This situation stands as a non-conformance. Please decide the appropriate clause. Here, the standard asks us to determine what needs to be monitored and measured. The varied temperature for this food manufacturer may lead to inconsistent product quality and the increased spoilage. Hence, this situation stands as a non-conformance under clause 9.1.1. While auditing this world-class dry cleaner, you find instances there where clothing is damaged, lost, or returned with stains that were not there before, and they realize a lot of customers which are getting dissatisfied because of this. This situation stand as a non-conformity. Please decide the appropriate clause. Now, this world-class dry cleaner need to understand that the international standard ISO 9001:2015 asks us to exercise due care for the property belonging to the customers while it is under their own control or being used by them. Hence, the situation stand as a non-conformance under clause 853. Here is the another situation of KFC's UK operation, which faced a major crisis when they switched to a new delivery partner, DHL, for the fresh chicken. This transition led to widespread delivery problems, causing the closure of hundreds of stores. KFC was criticized for not adequately vetting the DHL's experience in handling the chilled foods and for not having the sufficient contingency plans. This situation stands as a non-conformity. Please decide the appropriate clause of the international standard. Here, the KFC, while implementing the quality management system, need to understand that this international standard asks us to ensure that externally provided processes, products or services do not adversely affect the organization's ability to consistently deliver conforming products and services to its customers. Hence, this situation stands as a non-conformance under clause 842. They should have controls over the external providers. The another situation of a Blockbuster, which was an American provider of the movie and video game rental business, failed to adapt to the streaming services since they failed to recognize the shift towards the online streaming services like Netflix, leading to its decline and eventually bankruptcy. This situation takes us to the some clause of the international standard. Please try to find the clause. Going by this situation of the Blockbuster, we need to understand the importance of clause 4.1, where the international standard asks us to determine the external issues which Blockbuster failed to determine, monitor, and review. Now, these issues which are arising from the competition driven that may affect the ability to achieve our intended results. So, this situation stands as a non-conformance under clause 4.1. Look at the other situation of a Volkswagen, and because of the internal culture and the lack of oversight that led to the emissions scandal, which damaged the company's reputation and resulted in significant financial losses. That takes us to the clause of the international standard. The situation stands as a non-conformity. Please try to decide the clause where Volkswagen failed. The Volkswagen failed here to determine the internal issues that may affect the ability of the organization to achieve the intended results. Hence, non-conformity under clause 4.1. The crashes of two Boeing 737 MAX aircraft were linked to the flawed automated flight control system. Boeing failed to properly understand the implications associated with the flight control system and they did not adequately prepare pilots on it. This led to a worldwide grounding of the aircraft and the significant reputational damage for the company. The situation stands as a non-conformance. Please decide the appropriate clause of the international standard. Here, Boeing failed to assess the risk associated with the flight control system, which can prevent or reduce the undesired effect, and the situation stand as a non-conformance under clause 611. While auditing this software company, suppose you find a team tasked with the developing a new feature, but they are given instructions like make it better without a clear targets like increase the user engagement by 15% or so through some feature by some date. The team might prioritize features that don't align with the company's actual objectives, leading to wasted efforts and delay in reaching the strategic goals. The situation stands as a non-conformance. Please decide the appropriate clause. Here, the software company failed to communicate and update their quality objective, and the situation stands as a non-conformity under clause 621. While auditing this manufacturing plant, suppose you find some specific workstation that require an operator to repeatedly perform the task involving some fine motor skills and prolonged standings there. The workstation design is also not ergonomically optimized, causing operator to experience fatigue and discomfort over time. This leads to increased muscle strain, slowed reaction times, and ultimately a higher rate of products defects due to human errors at that specific workstation. The organization's failure to address these human factors directly translates into the production losses and the rework cost also. The situation stands as a non-conformance. Please decide the appropriate clause. Here, the manufacturing plant failed to implement the production and service provision under the controlled condition, and standard asks us to do so. These controlled conditions shall also include the implementations of actions to prevent human error. Hence, this is the non-conformity under clause 851. Look at the other situation of a blockbuster where they missed their chance to acquire Netflix. In the year 2000, Netflix was a nascent DVD by mail service provider, and they proposed selling itself to the Blockbuster for just $50 million. Blockbuster, then a dominant force in video rental, they dismissed the offer of the Netflix and failed to recognize the potential of online streaming, that there was a shift in consumer behavior. This misjudgment of the Blockbuster led to the downfall of them while Netflix became a global entertainment giant. The situation takes us to some clause of the international standard. Please decide the clause. Here the Blockbuster failed to determine and select the opportunities, and this situation stand as a non-conformity under clause 10.1, where the international standard asks every organization to determine opportunities. Friends, through this real-time scenarios or the practical situations where I have tried my level best to develop the understanding and help you to connect with the international standard around these audit situations so that you can develop your understanding around the respective clauses of the international standard. All these requirements are generic and can be applied to all sort of organizations irrespective to the kind of product and services they are into it. irrespective to the size of the organization. So through such audit situations and the situations of the past of few companies, please try to connect with the appropriate process. While auditing some organization, you may also find some similar situation, hence develop your auditing skills and clear your exams. Thank you so much. At last, I would request you to please take 3 actions. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share in your groups. Thank you so much.